Hey, what's up, guys? Doing my next video on the Chris Brown case. Listen to some Angela Yee. Very excited to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the whole case. All right, let's go. And it's gonna be interesting.
Way up. It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for some Yee tea. All right, Chris Brown has been freed on a $6.7 million bail. That is ahead of his assault trial. Now, just to give you guys some details, he is now free to start his UK and Ireland tour that starts in Manchester on June 15th. But he's accused of causing grievous bodily harm by throwing a tequila bottle in a nightclub.
Wow.
This happened in Manchester in 2023. Now, the person that he's accused of doing this to is Abraham Diaw, and he is a music executive. He's a producer based in Florence, Italy. He calls him.
I wonder if this is like connected to. I wonder if this is connected to. Because a lot of the time with these music executives, they're not paying their artists, man. So could have been upset. Deal didn't go through. Someone's money wasn't uh, being provided. So interesting.
Himself the boss of Florence, Italy nightlife on his Facebook profile. He does PR for different clubs as well. He also owns his own label. And he said he's known Chris Brown for the past few years, and what should have been another night in his life resulted in his hospitalization. The allegations against Chris Brown are that they had an altercation and that Chris Brown inflicted severe and lasting injuries, hit him with a bottle of 1942, ruthlessly stomped on him, kicked at the back of his neck, and knocked him out cold for some time. He was then hospitalized and left the hospital on crutches after reportedly suffering lacerations on his head and.
Yeah, that's rough. It seems like this guy's probably looking for. I don't know what England's rules on law are, so, but it seems like this guy might be looking to do a civil suit.
Torn ligaments in his leg. He also says that Chris Brown has caused emotional distress, damaged his professional reputation, and won $16 million. Now, Chris Brown is facing up to 16 years of imprisonment if found guilty. Word on the street is that he is going to try and get a plea deal in this situation. So that is both sides.
A plea deal, for those who don't know, is like, instead of being found guilty or innocent, you're gonna try to negotiate something where you get a probably reduced sentence to maybe paying the person some money or paying this city, paying who, whatever. And maybe instead of going to 16 years, you take a year of probation, that kind of process. Because right now he's doing his Breezy World Tour, and he probably doesn't want that to stop. So he'll do what he did. He'll admit to what he did, probably pay it out, do a little bit of time so he can continue on with his life. And that just shows you the unequal distribution of power when it comes to the rich and the poor when it comes to our legal system.
Of what's happening. And Fat Joe had some things to say because he does feel like Chris Brown is being conspired against. Here's what he said.
Chris Brown, like, this is a complete setup to me. He's going to Europe to get ready for his tour, and they arrest him and leave him in jail with no bail. Like, he killed somebody, man.
He said he hit a music producer with a bottle.
Where's the video?
All right, so I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, if the guy has all these injuries and stuff like that, and there's witnesses, might not need a video.
As more details are going to come out, but people do feel like there's a conspiracy against Chris Brown, and I've seen a lot of that floating around online. And speaking of things we see floating around,
well, maybe the executive, maybe try to find a way to find a conspiracy here. Maybe the executive positioned himself in a way to like agitate Chris to make him hit him. I don't know. I mean, whether or not you hit somebody, it's kind of your choice. But
online, that's why you got to do a deep dive into things. Rod Wave, he was arrested in Georgia on 13 felony charges, including assault, firearm possession, and property damage, and he was released on bond, $50,000 bond, after this incident that happened in April. April 21st to be exact, and he's being charged for that. But I saw some details around this, and people were saying it involved a woman. Then, when I did a little search, said that he shot at his girlfriend's G wagon.
Oh wow.
Well, now I'm seeing more about what happened, and apparently, this is the report that we're getting, and this is on TMZ. They said Rod Wave was visiting his place April 21st with his realtors and other associates after it had been burglarized. And he and one of his associates got into a verbal argument as they were carrying out items. And that's when that pistol was pulled and fired. He allegedly fired 14 rounds in total, 11 which hit his associate's G-Wagon, one struck his 2022 Rolls Royce, and one hit the wall of his residence. The final round has not been located. And so the assault and the actions by Rod Wave broke his active bond order. That was from a 2020 battery incident. So that's why there was a warrant for his arrest. So we'll see what happens with that case. But his attorneys are saying to TMZ, there is no truth to these charges. Rod Green was a victim of a burglary and committed no crimes. How he was even charged as a result of this situation is incomprehensible. This will absolutely be resolved favorably to Mr. Green. All right, well, that is your Yee Tea, all of the updates. That's why we do these deep dives. When we come back, we have About Last.
Yeah, guys, a lot of drama, a lot of nonsense in the media right now. But I'm here to report it, show it to you guys, tell you guys what's going on, and have a full-on conversation. So, look, this is what I think about the Chris Brown thing. Chris has had a unfortunate past with violence, kind of a repeated issue with it. This has defined his public image, unfortunately, as much as his talent and ability with art. And thank God for Chris. He must thank God that he has the amount of money that he has, so he can pay that $6.7 million bail and do that type of plea deal, while also paying for attorneys, which is probably a very steep bill. But this is just not, I think, conducive. If there is a conspiracy, it's like, where's the video? That's the problem with this kind of reputation that this guy has for violence, um, and kind of an impulsive behavior. It's not really necessary to have video, right? I don't know the UK's standard of proof, so we just kind of don't know what's going to happen with this situation. But it's good to hear that he can be able to do the plea deal. I hope that guy who got, you know, um, who got hurt, I wish him the best with his family, man. It's a terrible situation for everybody to be in. I hope Chris and him can resolve their business dispute in another way that doesn't involve fist. But yeah, this is a really tough situation, and I wish everybody the best of luck. Awesome.